give her one foul just to tell her it's one now. How come I need rest? No recess in my schedule. Right. Mama used to serve vegetables, now half the meals got tentacles.
I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA.
We find ourselves at the home of the world's first retractable natural grass field as you get a look inside State Farm Stadium in Glendale. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Cam Newton getting set to go with this Panthers offense here for the first time. Cam coming off surgery on his shoulder in the offseason. Caused him to miss the final couple of games of the regular season last year. A disappointing end that saw the Panthers lose the last 6 of his starts after a 6-2 first half for the season. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. And the offensive starters for the Panthers.
A third-round pick out of LSU in the 2014 draft, guard Trey Turner quickly became one of the better players in the NFL. Agile, this guy can absolutely fly. The fastest offensive lineman at the 2014 Combine. You want some nastiness? Watch him at the point of attack. Agile, mobile, and hostile. That's Trey Turner.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, Newton. Got a man, it's right. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
That throw good for 4. It's second down. A look now at the defensive starters for the Cardinals. They were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
The best defenses I know, they draw lines in the sand and say you're not going to cross that. For most of them, it's 100 yards of total offense. They didn't quite accomplish that, but still a pretty darn good game last week. Just over 100 yards of total offense given up.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with. They have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped and make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. The linebacker Jordan Hicks flying in there for the sack.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for the loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
Gets it away, and I don't think Peterson will get a chance to touch this one. Angling for the sideline. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. So here are the Cardinals now under first-year head coach Cliff Kingsbury. They will be led out by the Heisman Trophy winner from 2018, drafted number 1 overall the subsequent year, Kyler Murray.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
To try again after the sack. Murray steps away to his left. And now he's going to use his legs and avoids the contact by sliding. They give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. Well, we know that Murray can run the football. He rushed for 1,000 yards during his final year at Oklahoma, better than 7 yards per carry. And Cliff Kingsbury says, I trust him running the football. And this is a guy that has known his quarterback since 2012 when Murray was a sophomore in high school. Kingsbury was in the OC at Texas A&M. He would go on to take the Texas Tech job, but the two maintained a great relationship. Both are from Texas, both quarterbacks, and both with fathers heavily involved in their football careers. With Cliff Kingsbury, he trusts his quarterback implicitly. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. Murray keeps it himself. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
But when you do call quarterback sneak, you don't mind if your quarterback's a little bit on the vertically challenged side, do you? Because he's just going to hide behind his big guys up front and be able to surge forward and pick up the first down.
Murray's throw on target to Christian Kirk. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Get him, boy!
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. This is David Johnson, the former All-Pro.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. That was shades of Tennessee volunteer football back in the 80s with Charles Davis coming up from the secondary to make the tackle for a loss.
You mean my teammates doing that, right? Because they would tell you, my coach would say, where's that tape? I want to see that. But how about the complete package there? Not just playing the pass, but being a willing tackler and making a really nice play.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They get the tackle, Marcus Gilbert, 2nd-round pick back in 2011 out of Florida. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Now Murray throwing on 2nd down. Flush to his right. David Johnson here on the catch. They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7.
Hey, man, watch the boot, watch the boot.
Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. Being chased out left. And now he'll let this one go deep, back over the middle. And that's going to be knocked away and incomplete. And with it, time has expired on the first quarter. No score after 1 on EA Sports. On 4th down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. Christian McCaffrey deep for Carolina. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. A reminder, coming up later tonight, a lot of buzz about this game. The Browns, they've been doing some travel. Back-to-back primetime games for them. Monday night they were in New York. Now the Browns head to Los Angeles to take on the NFC champs, Browns and Rams. An 8:20 kickoff Eastern time, 5:20 in California. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Back to throw, Newton. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. We see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on third down. A shotgun snap for Newton. On the move, and he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Hassan Reddick able to get outside the numbers and drop him for a loss of a yard.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
And they had him bottled up, but here's a late flag, and a face mask is going to get a much better starting position.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
A lack of discipline defensively on fourth down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. Murray now on first down, and he fires one incomplete. Andy Isabella was the intended target, but it's going to be 2nd down. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future All-Pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. The pass complete. It's Bird. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. A Cardinal first down on a gain of 13. Throwing on first down is Murray. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brian Burns in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career. And hear the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means the other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation.
And he's going to go down again. Off the edge, Mario Addison gets the sack.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. James Bradbury, he was right there to break it up.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. A first update from Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. And the 49ers are out to the early lead. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Give the tackle to Hassan Reddick.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. 13 yards, first down, Panthers. That'll be caught by his tight end, Ian Thomas. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there of 20 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Newton gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
Three bud. Watch the ship.
Throwing again on second down. Newton. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Newton throwing again. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And we have action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the second quarter now, and we do have our first points, a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who could gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points. Here we go.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And you have to figure they won't just sit on the football here in the final minute. The way things have gone, they need to try to make something happen offensively.
But maybe they should. Maybe they should sit on it here.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the one he was looking for. And that'll bring up second down. Back to the air, Newton on second down. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on third down. From the gun, here's Newton. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And Gano's kick is right through. And that will do it for this first half. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Murray going to throw. Forced out to his left. Airing this one out for Fitzgerald. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Murray with a third and long. He'll get this into the hands of Bird. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you,
push them deep, find some space, and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he gets it down to the 32. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. Here's Murray. This complete to the tight end, Clay. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. Johnson, the intended target. That pick hurts a little extra because it was 3rd down. You were already in field goal range.
You know what he's going to hear all night, all next week? Situational football. Understand what's going on, because you expressed it perfectly. 3 points were in their hip pocket. They had those. Now, those went by the wayside. You cannot make those kind of mistakes.
That's what you call a rookie mistake. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Here's Newton. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Just a net of 34 there following a punt of 44 yards. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball. And we see yet another errant throw as a result.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Murray. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And a sack by one of the most consistent D linemen in the game, Gerald McCoy.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
This is McCaffrey. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They'll run with McCaffrey. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. Welcome back to the desert. We're in Glendale. It's the Panthers out in front and in control of the football as well as we begin quarter number 4. On 2nd down, McCaffrey. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he's going to get this deep onto Arizona's side of the field. A big play there from McCaffrey. Give him 52 yards on the ground.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
The quick slant caught. And he is not going to get in there. He stops short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Throwing now is Murray. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Brian Burns able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hadn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Now, that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. Throwing on 3rd and long. Murray dancing to his left. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Here's Andy Lee now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So here are the Panthers set to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Hey, what's that? Hey, what's the ball? Check.
They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time you start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Christian McCaffrey with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. They go play action here on 1st down. The young buck finding the veteran there. There is 14 years separating Kyler Murray and Larry Fitzgerald. Murray turning 22 back on August 7th. And on August 31st, Larry Fitzgerald turned 36. But these 2 guys like each other, and it shows on the field. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Fake handoff to Johnson. Now here's Murray. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. K1 short with a sack. That's 315 pounds of man right there.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches, I always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Mario Addison in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Escaping the pressure right. He's going to let it fly. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay.
Game offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still 2nd down.
Ready? Ready? Check. Ready?
McCaffrey following the penalty. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Again, they run again. It's McCaffrey. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Gano's kick is good. And that one ups the lead to 22-0. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. To throw again on 2nd down. Murray, complete. It's Johnson.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Murray now out to his left. Hard throw, incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
Well, they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for the Panthers, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now.